Ready?
Okay, everybody. We are going to begin our personal finance unit, and we will start first with planning to earn. At the end of the lesson, you'll be able to recognize the role that income plays in personal finances, evaluate the effect your educational choices have on lifetime earnings, and describe the importance of planning and making financial decisions. First off, earning money. You can't spend money on anything until you earn it. That means your first financial choice is decide how you're going to earn your income. What kind of job would you enjoy? Will provide financial security and a good quality of life. So, what kind of job would you guys enjoy? Teaching.
Running a business.
Running a business. What kind of business?
Trader Joe's.
Okay. So you own a franchise?
Yeah.
Okay. Jameson, how about you? How do you want to earn your money?
Investments.
Any ideas on what you're going to invest in?
Oil. Oil and technology.
Okay.
Where are you going to get your money, Jameson?
Dinner.
Then there.
Alchemy. Find it on the street?
Mm-hmm.
So, here's a question. What is the single best predictor of how much income you'll make in your life?
Education.
Education. Perfect. Education. For a high school graduate, you'll earn your career earnings over the life cycle of your career are about $1.3 million. However, if you get a bachelor's degree, you're going to earn almost double that. If you earn a master's degree, you're going to earn about $4,000 to $5,000 more, or $500,000 more. And a doctorate triples almost what a high school graduate will earn on average. Now that takes into account people who don't go into their career fields, who don't use those master's degrees, which I advise you to use your master's degree. Timeline choice number 1. On your sheet, will you be attending college? If no, cross out the college section. If you will be attending college, think of what degree you want to earn and write the income that you're going to earn from that degree in or below the college section. How much can you plan on earning over the length of your career?
Oh, so all the way up until I graduate? Until I retire?
Yeah.
So under...
Write it below the college heading. Alright, now, as you guys look at your timeline, can anybody tell me why all the sections kind of interlink?
It's like one depends on the other one.
Exactly. Say, Molly, you start college, or you finish college early. Then you end college earlier than say, Ryan would. I forgot. What I want you to do is the directions at the top. Fill in where you see yourself beginning those stages in your life. Say you're going to finish college early. You're only going to earn a bachelor's degree. Then darken out the later stages of college. You don't need that. You don't need to factor in that time. You don't need to plan for that.
Would you be able to show us like on an example?
Yeah, sorry.
You want to use my bars?
Yeah. Well, I'll just show you. So, you would take this section and you would color that in. Make this dark.
if you wanted to get a doctorate?
If you wanted to
And
get a
it took you till
doctorate,
you were 40.
Yeah, that's what I was.
then extend it.
Okay.
Judging by your guys' college projects, I figured that the most that you would probably pursue would be a master's degree. A lot of you guys said that you wanted to go into business, possibly get an MBA. You would probably finish that up by about 25, 26 years old. Now, think ahead before we get to the next section. Do you want to marry? When do you want to marry?
So sweet.
Darken that in. If you don't want to get married in college, darken that, or black that off.
So old I could darken most of it.
Same with kids. If you don't want to have kids while you're in college, darken that off. If you don't want to, but if you are planning on having kids when you're 21, 22, then obviously your kids are going to be out of the household, hopefully, by the end, so you want to factor that in.
Did you just hear Mr. Wangreski about Google yesterday, or the day before yesterday, announced they would give women 20 grand to freeze their eggs so that they could have children, decide to have children later in life, and with good eggs. Because the health teacher said the longer you wait.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, and, yeah.
Because there's so much, over in California, there's so much competition, especially for female.
For females in technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
that they
And
wanna
so,
offer.
yeah, so women could delay, like, if you had, she said, the health teacher said, if you have a baby like in your 40s, then the baby might be autistic or developmentally
Yeah.
delayed or whatever. But if you had a baby in your 20s, that isn't so likely to happen. But if you took the eggs in your 20s, froze them until your 40s, and then found the right guy, then,
Wow.
yeah.
Like, putting them babies on like pause real quick.
Yeah, but 20 grand is what it, I guess what it
20 grand
costs.
to ice babies.
Wow.
And just
Yeah.
wait for 'em.
That's impressive.
Keep in mind.
Yeah, they didn't say anything though, the thing on the news, my mom and I were watching it, the thing on the news was that, they didn't say anything about guys.
Didn't say anything
So,
about what?
About guys, and my mom said that guys have fathered children until they're 80, I don't know if that's true or not.
I've heard that.
She said there's a guy, the Playboy guy, that's still fathering children,
I don't think Hef has any kids, but I know Kenny Rogers does.
yeah.
Kenny Rogers
Till I was 80.
had a kid at like 70.
Oh.
Well, he looks.
You gotta know when to
Well,
He
go.
looks 100.
I mean, plastic doesn't degrade at the same. Okay,
I like it.
so we figured out your education choices. How much will your education cost? Look it up in your college project that you completed at the beginning of the year. How much is your education going to cost? Per year. How much is it going to cost?
12-ish grand a year. What would be like a good estimate, like 10 or 12 grand?
It says the average cost for public schools, the average cost is about $9,000, average,
Okay.
and 30,000 at private schools, so 3 times, at least 3 times.
So 9,000, that's 36,000.
Now the class did a college project that I helped them with at the beginning of the year. They figured out what colleges they would want to go to, what the tuition would be, so they just pull that up from their Google Drive, look it up, pop it in. Good. Now, how are you planning on paying for college if you are attending? Are you going to get loans? Are your parents going to help you out? Are you going to work? Do you already have savings? Record that in your living expenses. Eyes on me when you're finished, please. Next, marriage. Are you planning on getting married? How many of you are planning on getting married? Show of hands.
I want kids.
At what time in your life do you see this happening? Anybody would like to share? When are you going to get married?
I think we'll be married probably like 3 or 4 years after college.
Okay, that's a
By the
good
time,
plan.
Like 25, 26.
That's a good plan. Are you going to have a big wedding?
Yes, it's tradition in my family.
Okay. Would you guys please go on your computers, look up how costly the average American wedding is.
I'm gonna buy a house
You're going to buy a house
instead of a wedding.
instead of a wedding?
The average cost is $25,000.
You can put a down payment on.
The average cost of an
My
American
dad's.
wedding is $25,000. Write that below. Right there below that marriage part, the marriage heading. $25,000.
I ain't how much we spend. I don't say that as a fraud. 25 grand. You want your mind? You know what I can do with 25 grand? You just blew 25 grand in one day. You crazy.
Now, we'll poll the crowd. Are you planning on working? Is your spouse planning on working? Does anybody have an opinion on that? Molly?
Yes, absolutely.
Both of you are going to work?
Yes.
Okay. Any reason why?
Because I shouldn't have to make all the money.
Okay. Are you planning on having kids?
Probably not.
Okay. So, you're going to need to plan accordingly to pay for your wedding. We'll have to factor that in
I
into your,
thought parents paid for weddings.
when are you going to get married?
After college, like Ryan.
After college. Did your parents pay for your college?
Oh.
Exactly. If your parents paid for your college, are they going to pay for your wedding? You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that's why we're making a plan. That's why we're planning to earn, because we have to plan on earning that enough to cover those expenses in case we don't have help. A lot of people don't have help. A lot of people aren't able to get funding from their parents, from their families, to cover those large expenses. So we're going to need to plan accordingly.
You're gonna be a stay-at-home dad. Oh, those poor kids.
That's my career aspiration.
What?
Stay-at-home dad. Who's gonna marry you?
Hold on.
My career aspiration is to be a stay-at-home dad.
Didn't say it right.
I would say so.